Awesome. Hi everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Bala. I'm a cloud solutions architect in Microsoft. Recently got moved into a new industry called professional services industry, which we got to figure it out. Thank you again for having me here. I'm just going to walk you a few slides, but I would like to show you like how I'm using agents, and I'm also using agents to build with our customers. I mean, this shouldn't be this shouldn't be anything like this should be known to everybody because we are seeing a lot of momentum with this Gen AI on the agentic space. Like 81% of the leaders are like, starting to look at like how to, they're already using something, and the rate of adoption has been amazing. And 93% of organizations are using couple of models and testing it out. 70% are using like Gen AI experiments. And I have seen bunch of them move to production because I've been in that journey personally myself. So what's the change? Traditionally, we have been doing software development for ages. What happened in the last couple of years is like when the large language model came, it was a single model, built-in features, whatever we can use the model, that's what it was. Now it's a little bit shifting because it's becoming multi-model. It can do tools, it can take memory in, um, and it can actually do some task by itself. Before the model was more towards like the knowledge, it was a knowledge agent, but we are seeing this shift that this multi-model and multi-agent capability allows us to do literally real work. And I'll show you how we are looking at like, a human with virtual teams and human using AI at the same time for his own work. And I'll show you how I'm using it for my work. So you get uh, a chance to see that. But ultimately, what we are doing is like, if you look at this slide, I see Gen AI across the board, not just only on the IT side of the spectrum, but I see a lot of transformation on the business side, which is like if you look at customer services, it's going to go 24 by 7, and the quality is going to get very improved because these large language model can understand end users language. They can understand the nuances in the language. They can literally do better in terms of like responding to the users. So does in sales and marketing. We can based on the content, you can create very much customized content itself and send it to customers to make it very personalizable. I'm seeing a lot of things in finance and operation with audits and compliance. Supply chain is another one. Supply chain like predictive maintenance doesn't fall under this, but in traditional we actually see a lot of them happening in like in terms of like email creation or continuous monitoring or auditing, like compliance and stuff like that. I've personally worked on it. Human resource is another great place because I see a lot in human resource. If you look at it like employee onboarding or skilling, creating learning path, or even actually resume detection and stuff like that. So all these are the the new way of things are getting changed, which means it went into that agentic AI LLM application space. Now it is going into the agentic space, right? But what is that? Why and what is the reason behind it? Like number one, it is high ROI, and then you get unlimited scale. But the scale depends on depending on the hyperscalers that we use. Some people do talk about scale within data centers, which there are bunch of difference on it. Like if you're building your own data center for your own modeling, that's a different story. But as an enterprise, building our own data center doesn't make any sense because these chips and architecture and the servers that we use changes every 6 months. Not only that, it is more adaptive and very much dynamic in nature. So we can change the change the pace of change is much faster. um, Now let's talk about the agentic development. Like agents, the entire industry is moving towards agents since the last 1 year. But now you will see like a lot of people are not talking too much about it because they figured out that there are a lot more, little bit more work to be done. When it comes to complex tasks and all, the agent doesn't do very well. And the agents like testing and making sure that the agents are doing what's supposed to do. That area is still in R&D, but there is a lot of promises. I've seen a lot of customers starting to use agentic AI, and there are a couple of things we have to worry about, like what models you are selecting for a different type of tasks, what is the workflow is about. The more granular workflow, it works very well. And then the observability and governance is one thing that we need to have. And also the tool sprawl. Sometimes the tool goes crazy and you have to provide feedback. And the content safety. Content safety is very, very important because these are not just mathematical numbers. It's splitting out content, and we wanted to make sure that the contents are good, right? So let's look at what and we are looking at as uh, an AI app. What is going to be the future? The input is going to be chat-based typing, and the output is going to be either voice or text. Input is also going to be voice or text is what we are looking at. But in agentic applications, you can do batch like behind the scenes processing, backend processing. So you don't need any voice inputs if unless you're interacting with a human. But you can actually automate tasks also for long running and short running. So that needs model, that needs a prompt, what it needs to run. It needs some context, and then it runs through it, right? So on a high level, you send in an input, you have multi agents doing different tasks for on behalf of you, and it produces an output. There are two types of ways you can look at. The basic level is just the prompting and acting on response. If it is going to be larger scale, then you figure out a way to automate it and make it scalable as possible. Now, that is what our AI Foundry platform is. It's an enterprise-ready, end-to-end agentic development platform. By any means, this doesn't have any pre-baked agents. We do have some templates available, but this is more towards like if you want to build your own IP and muscle and build your own systems, that's what we are going after. So we have our infrastructure layer, which is purely meant to build for AI. We re-architected the entire data center based on that. And then we come up with this new services for computes, like which are you can use Kubernetes app services, container apps, and functions. Those are exposed to run the agents and deploy the agents as a REST endpoint or an MCP. MCP capability is already there. Um, and then you have these services like, security is number one. We always do security and AI first design. And then you have the the Foundry has the models, and we also have agent services inside the model. And you can use it's SDK based. We are moving towards the code first approach because we are seeing a lot of people who figuring out like, okay, this has to, a lot of development is needed. So that's the reason why we are going SDK first approach. But you can also use the UI, but you can connect using Visual Studio Code, Copilot Studio, GitHub. All those can be possible. Now, that being said, I'm seeing a lot of customers. This is a list of customers. You can see there are 70,000 plus customers who are using the AI Foundry. There is a lot of momentum that we see building AI application. Given that you're going to have vendor specific, but I see a lot of enterprises need customization that they have to incorporate within their own environment, which is why this is their entire ecosystem of what AI Foundry is. It's got the catalog. The catalog has got like 11,000 plus models from open source to all the way to Microsoft and OpenAI, Llama, and Mistral and stuff like that. We also have industry models from Page, Cohere, and there are other industry models for supply chain um, and few others. Now, these the entire platform is built to be end to end. So the agent catalog provides you the models that you can pick and choose. And when we onboard into our agentic platform, we make sure that it is actually secure. So we run through like a hidden layer validation, and you can see like the agent orchestration is available, the memory is available, the long term, short term, and the tracing capability, evaluation. You can connect to different channels. You can get MCP and A2A support. You have connectors to other systems around, including our Logic apps, and Logic app has got like 1,500 connectors. And then you can use knowledge bases like AI search and Bing and Cosmos, Fabric. You can use any tool, Visual Studio, GitHub, no problem. And we have security. So in our platform, if you build an agent, the agent comes with a security, so you can authenticate the agent with other systems when you're talking to them. And this is the latest stats that I've seen. 700K customers are using. We process 100 trillion tokens a quarter. It's going like crazy. We went from 1,500 models to 11,000 models. I mean, that's all well and good, but let's see what can we do. This is an app that I built. I use this for multiple purposes. So I'm going to show you um, how the multi connected agent system is going to work. So I created an agent that has like multiple functionalities. So we can come and see that functionality in here. This is the portal UI, and you can see like I have a stock price bot, a sustainability paper, and a send mail bot. I can actually say like, okay, what is the stock price for the for Microsoft? This is not a real time bot. The reason is like I'm just going to only show you like how it is going to interact, and it's going to give you information. So it's going to only answer from the knowledge what it has inbuilt. Um, but this agent is already created, so it's going to go use the existing agent, and it's going to go bring back the answers for me. So it went through, it did this thing, and this is our Azure AI Foundry agent. It's very similar to what the OpenAI agent does. Assistance Beta does actually. Here is something if you want to do MCP, you can do an MCP agent. We have the MCP as well. I've connected this with the Microsoft Learn content. So the Learn contents keep changing as we add new technologies and new features and stuff like that. It's very hard to keep up. So I built this interface so that I can actually, if I need something, I can go ask it in a real-time fashion. And instead of me going and crawling it, bringing the data, building all the systems that do data and figuring out data quality and stuff like that. Governance is crazy for data, so this is super easy. I can just go hit the MCP, get my information, and I'm done with it, right? Now, I also added a new thing for you guys that I'm also testing out the new voice interface. I don't know how the voice will show here, but I'm going to show you like how for our America's AI action plan, I also built an agent that actually can. This uses the file agent concept, so I can actually, instead of reading through the PDF file, I can just ask my own questions, and it's going to go look at the file, and it's going to load it, and it's going to show you like it's going to come back and give you the answer based on that particular PDF file. So it's still processing, so bear with me for a few minutes. Here we go. Um, Okay, something. Okay, here we go. So it came up, it came and it summarized the PDF document that I downloaded it from the government website. It's not going to the White House, but it's just pulling it out from there. Now, these are something showing how AI can be used in what I'm actually doing, right? Like for my own thing. Now, how do I use AI agents as my own employees? So here is my brainstorming bot that I have. This is built on open source AutoGen because the Foundry also will able to connect to AutoGen as well. And you can see on the right hand side my employees per se, and my employees are all agents. So I have industry specialist, ideation catalyst, business analyst, technology advisor, strategic analyst. Now you can ask like, why do you have all these things? Um, just to build a system, come up with a new idea, not just using an existing system, an existing pattern. You have to come up with some new ideas to figure out what new things to do. So that's what brainstorming is all about. You can have like bunch of different people, and we can sit down and figure out like what we can do. So in this case, I said like I want to build a new system to search through videos and build a research system on a scientific topic. So if I'm an engineering company and I have all these documentations that are written in videos, and I wanted to find out what is already available and come up with something new, like a new product or anything that's something new. I would like to do a brainstorming. So now I can hire a company, spend hundreds and thousands of dollars or millions of dollars to do this. That is also absolutely possible. Or I can build my own personas, and this is what I did. I created my own personas, and you can see the amount of detail that each one of them goes through. And you can see like it's looking at like every aspect of it, including the not only just the technical, but also the business side, the SWOT analysis. It does the resource planning for me, it does the timing, and it comes up with a complete skeleton of how I can actually go execute it. But it's also like my employees, so I wanted to see what they are doing, so I can actually go each one by one, and you can see in each turn what it did. So this is like me having my own team. Now this team is an agentic team. So this is the new concept that we are working on, like how an employee can have his own agents to do job better, right? I mean, everybody talks about how to do IT stuff and automate stuff and do things like that. But I'm looking at like, okay, how do I bring my own AI agents and teams? Eventually, this could be a humanoid eventually, but as of right now, these are like agents that are doing their job. So as you see, like this is just the technology is there. You might not be able to buy everything at this point. I do see some gaps on full-fledged products in the market, but build is becoming super easy. We have this GitHub Spark and Vibe code. I don't even program anymore. I just ask questions on, I just I just specify what I wanted to do. And then the GitHub Copilot is doing it for me, right? So you can see, like, I didn't write any program. My programming is like I'm asking the model, the GitHub Copilot chat to like what I wanted to get done, and it goes and writes the code. It's so super amazing. That's how I built all the systems. It's we call it vibe coding, but I mean, if you're a savvy enough, you can also do it. So that's what I wanted to show you all because given the short time. Now, also, like Ron said, there is an security-based session on the August. Please come for it. I'll show you how we do responsible AI across Gen AI application, how we use custom models to even make sure that the responses are okay, how is our content safety filter works. We also have agentic evaluation that we have created. Not only that, we also have added red teaming. So if you want to do cybersecurity for Gen AI itself, not just the API and looking through the API, and I'll also show you how we are going to do traceability. Like, so for example, I can run the same agents here in the UI, and then I can go inside here and I can see how the agent took decisions. So it provides you an entire lineage of like what went through and how it is flowing through the system. This is super important when you start having agentic applications that are running in behind a website or something like that. You want a place to store all these things so you can actually go back and debug, do some auditing, find the problems, find issues, or you can even make sure that it's running uh, uh, properly or not. And if you're using the UI, we do quality check automatically. So you can see the quality metrics in here and you can see the token usage. So we'll talk about that in the monitoring section and also the tracing section in the next call. And we'll talk about evaluation, how you can protect your IP, and you can also make sure that the model is doing what it's supposed to do.